Okay, so hi everyone, thank you very much for watching or listening. Today, Liam Harsher here with another episode of Presenting Champions, joined by a very special guest, Big Bad John Ferguson, fighting veteran in so many different fighting styles, many boxing fights, MMA, kickboxing, most recently bare knuckle boxing for Gromda. Very exciting promotion. He's repping the brand there. Also joined today by John's son as well, who's going to be sitting in for this interview. So it's good to have you as well, mate. But
Yeah,
before we get into any of the other stuff, I just want to say thank you both for coming on the show, guys. It's absolute pleasure. Yeah, so getting into it a little bit. We'll get into Gromda now in a moment, but I also want to give a quick mention to some of your big wins because you've won a number of titles in a different styles, as I understand it, over your career. But I don't know all of them offhand. So for our viewers watching and listening, some of them will know this, but some of them won't know the answer to this. Can you share with us a few of the championships, the belts that you've won over your years in the fight game so far?
it's just a lot of different local promotions. Sometimes even up Scotland, I've competed in four different in different styles. I've done MMA. MMA was the first one I've done. I haven't got any belts in that anymore. I finished retired from MMA unbeaten. Then I turned to kickboxing, but my lower back started getting damaged from all the excessive training. So I turned to boxing. I've just focused on my boxing. But I ended up getting good at boxing. So I just on different promotions. I was just fighting as much as I can. Not as much for the money, just more for the love of it. Just 3 or 4 different promotions. I've got 4 belts on. So that's what my belts from different promotions. Going up in Scotland, Enzo Parentier show. That's what was called. Can't think off the top of my head. I've got a few. I had a few motive there. Every time I fight for on shows, it's always for belts. So, I mean, they don't mean nothing for me. It's just it means a lot more for my kids because it just something to look up to. You know what I mean? I'm proud. It makes me proud that they're proud of me.
Yeah,
Shows.
absolutely, and so they should be proud of you as well because there's some great achievements in the fight game so far. Now, obviously, we will walk through some of those. We'll talk about boxing, MMA, kickboxing, all different things. But jumping into it straight off the bat, Gromda, very exciting bare knuckle boxing promotion, obviously in Poland. You've just come back from there, absolutely cracking fight. Obviously, can you walk us through the fight, like what your experience was like in Poland? What you remember most about the fight, what you enjoyed about it, and just anything that you'd like to share really about how that all went down.
I was just random. I asked ages ago. I was interested in doing it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. I was saying it was just random. I'm not gonna lie. I was proper scared because it was just different. I didn't know what to expect, and I got told it was 90 to 92 kilogram, and I was in between that weight. But then when I got there, I found out it was open weight from 90 kilogram plus. So I was expecting to fight actual natural heavyweights. Could have been anybody. But I thought, fuck it, I'm there anyways. I'm gonna get paid. Then I've met a few people like Dave Bakewell, who's got the BFBA promotions. And lads I met from Wales and stuff like that. I've become friends with some very close people that I'll know for the rest of my life, and that's what makes me happy with the sport most. It just took my mind off the fight, and then when I come to get a weigh-in day, I kind of knew something was off because everything got changed around. I got put into a super fight, which I should have been paid £2,500 for, and I'm just getting £1,000 for it. Basically, I really should not have been fighting that man. He was a man mountain. He was a natural heavyweight, too fast, very fast hands for a heavyweight as well. And I was absolutely petrified, but I had a lot of people tune in from my town of Ashton to watch and support us. And I felt like I didn't want to let anybody down. I seemed to be like sort of a pussy back in the way, but normality, most people would have backed down or not wanting to fight that man because it was just too much. But I thought, fuck it, I'll just do it anyway. So I got in, and because I was the underdog, and I was expecting him to flatten me straight away. And it's the fact that I felt like on top of my game, and I boxed the best I could. bearing in mind I was all in defensive mode, I wasn't going to beat him. I bitch slapped him. I said to my friend, I'm going to bitch slap him. And I actually pulled off that in a bare knuckle fight. And it's not like something you didn't plan to do, you know what I mean? It's like you're going to get fisted in the face of a gigantic man from Poland, which he did. And I was just slapping my chest saying, how will let's fucking go. That wasn't to belittle him, mind, which that's what they thought. It was more to, because I got hurt. When I get hurt, that's how I express my feelings by let's fucking go sort of thing. Doesn't mean I'm not hurt. It's just, it's like a front. But most people would back down from the way he hit someone. But I got to the second round, got that finished. My right hand was generally knackered anyway, so I didn't really hide that much in the fight. It was only my left hand, but I hit him a good few times with my left, and pain started going from my hand. I knew, in reality, it was time just to say that's enough, and the doctor has stopped it. So I got an easy round. I didn't get stopped physically, which what he should have done, but he didn't. So I'm happy with the outcome, because physically I was no way I was beating him. I could have punched. Anyways, I think even if I'd punched him, hit him, and he was flat on his back, and you could read the soles of his feet, I think it still would have been classed as a draw, because they were all for their guys. You know what I mean? All their lads were defended. But that's that. I was over the moon when I got out there. I was buzzing, and I saw things out of him. He kicked off with us. He was disheartened, calling us a pussy and stuff like that. I think our culture's different to what they are over there. I've made a video saying, how are you on the day? I was like, how are you? Let's go, you Polish, because I didn't mean to offend them. It's just that's how we express ourselves, over height, excited, sort of thing. And maybe I should have done it, and I apologised to him afterwards, and he'd forgiven us. So, I mean, I've took his jacket there. I've got his jacket. I've got his Gromda jacket. But he was on the drink afterwards, and he got 2 wrecks, and I pulled it along. I've got his jacket. That makes me happy.
Well, an amazing story, absolutely incredible story, and it was an incredible fight as well. Obviously, yeah, with the difference in weight and with what went down and everything like that, it was really something. But an amazing achievement nonetheless. Getting in there. Do you think that you'll be doing more sort of with the bare knuckle side of things now?
After doing that, I've retired from boxing because of this. My plan for the boxing was to I've got 25 wins in boxing and very little losses. My goal was to get 5 more wins, so I've got to 30. Then I was going to retire and coach other people. But after doing this and that, I've actually got the attention of some decent people, and they want me on the world's biggest show, BKFC. So I've got myself there for November November the 26th in Newcastle. And I'm over the moon by that. He told me, he was in my corner. He says, I didn't realise who he was. He thought I was going to get flattened straight away. And after I got out, he couldn't believe it. He was shocked. He was overwhelmed at how good I'd done. So he's getting me on that BKFC show. It's the world's biggest show. So it's opened doors for us.
Yeah, that is amazing.
It's
incredible.
I do plan to do more, and I want to make good money before I do retire, because I haven't got long left in what I do anyways. So I'm going to, once I retire, I'm going to help other people. So I might as well use this sport to try and get a good, bring an outcome of money and support myself and my family and that, and then help other people as well. That's my goals.
That's the plan, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously with bare knuckle boxing, it's getting bigger and bigger all around the world now. So it's a great time to sort of ride the wave, if you like, of that, and make the most of it, because there's shows cropping up all over the place. So definitely, I can see you having like a very bright future in the game, to be honest, and that is very, very exciting. Obviously, we'll talk a bit more about the future in a moment, but also talking about some of your previous fights as well. I mean, you've been across all these different styles. One of the things that people always want to know when I do a fight interview like this is they always want to know about like the toughest fights from people's careers. So I think this is going to be a great question for you, especially because you've been across most styles that you could do: kickboxing, MMA, boxing, and now bare knuckle as well. Which ones stand out for you as being your toughest fights of all time in your career?
3. I've got 7 losses in boxing. That's the only losses I've got. And people know what boxing's like. It's never always what it seems. 'Cause I've got 7 losses in boxing. I've got 7 losses in boxing. That's the only losses I've got. And people know what boxing's like. It's never always what it seems. 'Cause I think I've only had 3 legitimate losses where I've been physically beaten down, but I've never been stopped. Never been stopped. The 3 fights was it was Dan Danland. He's a school teacher from Spennymoor. He hurt me. I seen 3 people in my corner. That's how hard he hit. That was a really good fight. Before the end, I wouldn't want to fight him again. He's just too much for us. Sam Best. See, I was his last fight before he turned professional boxer, and he's got a 6-0 record as a professional now. He was tough. He actually perpetrated my eardrum, and I started losing the eyesight in my eye because I had a blimp underneath. Then that was a good fight, and we had a rematch. And Kyle Redfern, he turned into, I think he turned into one of the big shows, MMA fighter. He pushed it on us. He was tough, and that's the only three. In fact, most of my fights have been difficult, but I think it's more because I was more of I transitioned from MMA to boxing, but I wasn't a very good boxer, but I was very fit, and I was a scrapper, and I would defy the odds. I was beating boxers that were 10 times better than me, but I was that fit. I just spoiled it, and I was able to beat them. And then over a period of time, I started getting better in boxing and developed good boxing ability very quick because of who I was jumping in against. And now my defense is very, very good as a boxer. So it's hard for me to get hurt in boxing. Bare knuckles different. Boxing, I don't see anybody hurting us because my defense is very good. So that's that. I've probably had more fight of the night than I have losses. And that says a lot on my record.
Yeah, it does. And that also leads me into the next question as well, because I wanted to ask you about like your proudest moments in the game, because obviously I know you said earlier, that the belts they don't mean like a huge amount to you and this, that, and the other, but you must have had some moments in your career which were like your favorite fights, or the ones that you look back on and you sort of think, well, that was the one. Which ones come to mind for those?
It's the local lad from my area. I was just an MMA fighter, but he was English schoolboy champion. It's called John Muldoon. I just jumped in against him. I said I'll fight him, and he's called One Muldoon because he always stops people in one round. And I wasn't a boxer at the time, and I was the only one gutsy and ballsy enough to jump in against him. And I defied the odds again. He couldn't stop us, and I made it very close. So then a couple of years later, we rematched again, and he's local to me. He's like a local lad, and he is very good, mind. And there was no excuses the second time because he was very fit. He was physically fit, but I was at my best as well. And it was that even, that close, that even he admitted to his granddad that it was a draw. He knew it was a draw, but it was his show, so that he got the win. But I'm still proud because of who he was and what everybody said that he would do. And even people said afterwards that the second time there was no excuse. They thought I would be able to stop us, but defied the odds again. So that's made me proud. So everybody started recognizing us from there. And another proud moment is from when I went over to Poland. That was just stupid. I shouldn't have even been in there with him. And the fact that I got in, I was petrified. Even his dreams would be scared of him. He was fucking evil looking. He's massive. But I still got in anyways, and I didn't put him in. So I'm proud of that. Even though I stopped after the second round. It's not really a loss. It's not really a loss in that sport. So
no, that's it. Those are some proud moments. Okay, amazing. Because I love asking that question because you don't always get the answer you expect from, and especially from someone like yourself who've had so many different fights and things like that. And I've also got to ask. Obviously, you've transitioned around like all these different styles as well. From MMA to boxing, you've had kickboxing, you've had all these different things. What sort of inspires you to sort of switch it up and give different types of things a go instead of sort of sticking with?
I think my heart was with MMA, but it's the fact that the years of training it took its toll on my back quickly. So when I was young, I got problems with my lower back disc. So I think it was because from the kickboxing, my hip flexors strengthened. I wasn't stretching them off properly or doing anything properly. So it's pulled my lower back in. So my lower back was more straight than it usually should be. So the impact on it was it was just too painful. So I stopped doing both them sports to do boxing, and I turned out to be like develop good and quick at boxing. So I've stuck with that. I was just fine taking any fights on all the time. Sometimes 3 fights in 1 month. People are like, "How can you do this all the time?" And truthfully, it was just easy because coming from MMA and kickboxing, it's less pain. All you got to do is cover up your body and head, not like worry about legs and stuff like that and elbows. So that's how I got into it. And then I started feeling love for the sport because it was something I was good at. I entertain. I'm an entertainer. I'm not just a fighter. I entertain. And
Yeah.
then it was a bit fun. uh,
Yeah,
I'm not laughing.
You sure do entertain. And you were saying there as well about it being like less pain and things like that with the boxing. Obviously, with the bare knuckle boxing, a lot of people say that it's a lot more painful. You know, a lot of people say that the punches are like a lot sharper and things like that.
I
Some people.
suppose
Go on,
it's
yeah.
supposed to be sharper. And that fucking kid I fought, he's a unit. It was like fighting me wardrobe, man. It's just not normal. And he hit me flush on, and I was watching replay. I'm like, I fuck, that's how I slapped my chest. I'm like, let's go. Then it woke us up. That's what it takes for me to get hit, to wake me up. And I'll keep going, And let's say with a double decker bus, I'll keep going. I don't know if I felt it, but I think the second round I kind of did feel it. I'm like, it's a bit fucking naughty, this, like. But there was no major damage to my face and stuff like that. I never experienced any major pain. The adrenaline taken. The next day, the next day was totally different. Me and my pal who had a good fight, he was fighting one of the best boxers in the heavyweight division. At the end, he got stopped. We were both lying on my single beds in absolute agony, just laughing at each other, thinking what fucking daft cunts we are doing this. But then we are.
Yeah.
There it is.
It is. And but the other thing you said about going to Poland and that was about like the people and you know they live their own and all that sort of thing. But I mean, what was your experience like in the country itself? Did you have much time to sort of look around and do things, or were you sort of in and out quite quick with the fight? Or you know, it'd be good to get into like the behind the scenes side of it a little bit as well.
The people were nice. We got looked after, but I do think it's run by like the way you would say it is like mafia. It definitely is. It's has something about it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of money there. And it's a poor like country sort of thing. You know what I mean? But we weren't living poor. We were just helping ourselves to do what we want with the food and stuff like that. We were well looked after. We got picked up from the airport. It was a very professionally run show. But afterwards, after we had our fights, all the fighters left and we weren't getting looked after then. So me and my friend Brad, he decided that we should just get up, pick up, and just go to the town because it was like a 3-hour drive and a car to get to Krakow. So what we done is we just had a random spontaneous day. We left and got on a train on a Sunday to Krakow. By the time we got to our hotel, which was cheap but bad team for the 2 nights, we just decided to get a. That's when we started like feeling happy about ourselves. You know what I mean? We weren't bored. We hired some hotel bikes for £5, whatever it costs over there, and then we just went out for the day. It was the best time ever. The people are very nice over there as well. The men are fucking scary though. Like there's some big men. You get men that's big, but then there's bigger men there. You know what I mean? They look just you can tell they're fighters. We have football teams over here. They have hooligan fight teams over there. So that just says all about you know what I mean. They are natural fighters. They wrestle bears and I'm dancing around the Oasis gym listening to 50 Cent.
Yeah. Oh, there are some wild people in that part of the world. I mean, I've interviewed people who've like been involved in the hooligan firms, or
Yes,
like you know, King of the Streets and some of those like
yes,
underground. Yeah, I've
yes.
interviewed some of those guys. I know that's Sweden instead of Poland, but that part of the world they have some wild stuff like that we
Yes,
don't have. You
most
know.
most of the guys on that show are like them hooligan fighters. The lad I was fighting, he's one of the main boys from over there. And I think he is one of the leaders of one of them firms. He's meant to be like a gangster. So I don't know. I didn't get into it. I didn't talk to him about it. But he's very respectful and nice afterwards. I mean, he tell us what he was upset about after the fight, and I apologise to him. Again, it's different cultures. It's just the way we are. I meant no harm by it, but I respect him massively. And I told him the truth. I didn't really want to fight you. He said the size of you, too different to me. Well, that's that show. It's 90 kilogram plus, so anyone can fight anybody. Just the way it is over there, but it's not healthy, really.
It is crazy. It is crazy, but it's it is exciting and fair play for getting in there as well. Was he because of the size of him and everything like that? Was he the hardest puncher that you faced, or like is there other guys that you
I,
face
I,
in?
I was expecting it. I know what I expect. I kind of knew what I expect. It's not as concussive unless it's a boxing glove. There's more cushion, more concussive with a boxing glove than it is a bare knuckle. He hit his full take mind, and it just bounced off my head. I didn't feel concussed, but it was Dan Lennon, the school teacher, fucking school teacher, He punched me, and I was fucking concussed. I was in a different. I just didn't know where the fuck I was. But no, it didn't hurt that much, really. To be honest, like it takes away the pain. It's just like sharp and quick, but it's just like but that woke us up. You know what I mean? So I was moving more.
Yeah.
Good shot. It was a really good shot.
Good shots, absolutely. And obviously, I mean, these days you're a veteran, and we talked a bit about the boxing, kickboxing, MMA, all the different things. But like going forwards now in bare knuckle, obviously, you've got this big fight coming up. You mentioned November, and you've got some big opportunities with BKFC. Assuming you get past that, I mean, you should do. What do you aim for from there? I mean, are you sort of driven by winning more belts in bare knuckle boxing, or is it more just a test and obviously the
just,
money? I know
just it's the years of what I've put into work, like my MMA, all combined together with the boxing. And I just want to go out there. I'm on big stages now. I'm not just on small stages. So it's not like I've just started on small stages of bare knuckle. I've been training for this for years of my life, and I'm coming to the end of my life, anyways, with my career. So why not go? Why be on small stages when I can be on big stages? So I'm on big stages there to test myself. I'm not bothered about belts and stuff like that. If that comes along with it, because you haven't got a long career in bare knuckle anyways. But I just really to test myself, and I'm not there just to fight. I can fight just as good as I can box, but my idea is to show off to the world my boxing ability over fighting. You know what I mean? So it looked good on the BKFC. Sure, I've got a majorly good matchup as well for this show coming up. The lad's got a very similar record to me. 22 wins, boxing, 3 losses. Amateur career boxing, very small losses, and a 1-0 in bare knuckle. I'm 0-1 on bare knuckle. And it's very similar record to me, so that'll make for a matchup and a half. I think it'll be one of the best fights I've ever had. Tough boxing with bare fists. Right.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It is absolutely going to be amazing. I mean, we've got some highlights here, and we've talked about some good stuff with your career so far, with the future. So moving into the last couple of things, and just so you know, it's frozen up as well. So I'm mostly listening to you.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
see. Yeah, but that's so. When I release this, I'm just going to make it just so people can listen to it. But that's fine. So don't worry about it, because I mean some of them you can see the video, but because most people listen to my stuff anyway, so I'm just going to put some fight photos in there, and then we can just listen to it through. So don't worry about that. But yeah, obviously another last couple of things to touch on. Obviously, when it comes to, we mentioned earlier about fighting in Poland and things like that, but when it comes to different areas, I mean, you mentioned earlier that most of your fights have been in Scotland and in the area, but do you have like a favorite crowd atmosphere, that you fought, like a favorite location,
Yeah, I sit in my hometown. I've got a lot of support here, friends and family. Scotland, I fought there 5 times, but I fought a couple of the lads on their Scottish lads. I met them from fighting on Ashton shows, local shows to me, just small promotions. Yeah, but then they had promotions up in Scotland, which they invited me up there, and I went 5 times. I was fighting their local lads in their shows and beating them, and I've had their belt for about 6-7 years, something like that. I've never been beat up there. And I developed a little like a little fan base up in Scotland, which I quite enjoyed. You know what I mean? I felt welcomed and respected up there, and I liked it. It's different as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, hometown it's got to be special, and things like that. But the different locations, I think, is cool, because at the end of the day, even though it's just you and the other guy in the ring or whatever, or in the cage or whatever it is, the crowd atmosphere, it is still cool to give that a mention as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, on the subject of fans, I mean, we have to give the fans a shout out because sport would be nothing without these people who buy tickets and all this sort of stuff. I mean, in terms of the people who support you and watch your fights or follow your fights, what would you say to those people who are out there supporting you and sort of encouraging you to keep going, type of thing?
Just thank you really for just being there. I just thanks. What I don't know what I could say. Just appreciate everything they do for us. I think over time I was fighting that much. My sales went down because they just knew they were expecting us to win all the time, so not everybody could come and afford it. But now I'm transitioning to bare knuckles. People be more interested in that sort of thing. You know what I mean? I've always had moral support, anyways, even if it's just like a nice message and that. I've had hundreds since I've had this fight against this giant. My phone's never stopped. I've never even had a chance to reply to some of them. But I'm grateful for everything everybody does and says nice towards us. I get negative feedback sometimes, like off the Polish, but I was expected. I just laughed at it, and they thought I was pushing that guy on stage, which I wasn't. It was staged. The man asked us to do it, so I said, "Yeah, I will." And I got a lot of bit of hate mail for that. But it is what it is. Into the sport.
Yeah, that's going to happen sometimes. I mean, we're to hype up the fight, but from what I see on social media, you get a lot of love, and so you should, because the amount of fights, the amount of wins you've had, and the exciting fights you've been in, absolutely next level. Well, champ, I want to say, it's been a pleasure to have you on here. I mean, I know obviously, we've just scratched the surface because there's probably so many fight stories and so many things you could get into. But it's a good sort of highlights, of your fighting journey so far. And I definitely think the future is very, very bright because with the wealth of experience that you've got and the wealth of knowledge that you've got from everything you've done before, obviously bringing that into bare knuckle. I mean, it's mostly people who are like that anyway. They're mostly veterans of other sports. I think you'll go a long way in the game. Good luck for November. I'm looking forward to that one. Good luck for what comes after. And the last thing for me to do is just to say a big thank you for coming on the show, mate. It's been a real great pleasure to have a little insight into your fighting journey. It's been great to meet your son earlier as well, and everything like that. So thank you guys for coming on, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem at all, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.